New year, everybody. And oh, as you can hear, I've got a little bit of a frog in my throat. So, welcome to a fresh year, 2024, and we've already hit the road with plans unexpected. So, Brian and I had a beautiful break with some friends over Christmas and New Year and some time away in our magic place of Bright, and came back and basically have spent I've spent the last week of transitioning out of something and very much in my inner world. So all my plans prior to Christmas for how I was going to hit the road for this year have been thrown up in the air, and it's, as they say, back to the drawing board. But while I've been in my inner world, the outer world has certainly been shifting and changing. And in fact, there's many things that have happened, and I've put down a couple of things that I wanted to mention just here. But first of all, the sun has been very, very active, with lots of solar flares, which basically is reactivating our dormant strands of DNA, which has the creator coding in there. So that's the first thing that's on our side. The second thing is the Schumann resonance has been spiking again, so massively. It's been up and down, and currently it's up. So, and that's important because the earth is also shifting. So it's not us shifting as well, but also the earth. You might have heard the term before of Kali Yuga cycle. And this is the end of a 24,000 year cycle timeline where we've usually gone through like a very much 12,000 years of up and 12,000 years of down. And they sort of refer to this like day and night, but where there are major things that happen towards the end of that. It's a revealing. It's times in the past where there have been black plagues and things like that. And so we're going through that big purging stage and coming out of it. So that's also happening at the same time. Before Christmas, I let everybody know about the Crist Spiral. And if you weren't in the class when I was talking about that, basically, we have been led to believe that the Fibonacci spiral is a spiral for everything of creation around us, and even I've commented on that. And then in my research, found that in fact on the 8th and 9th of November, we actually crossed that spiral timeline of the Fibonacci spiral with the Crist spiral. And the Crist spiral is the primary spiral that is given to us from source, and it holds the original creation encryption, which facilitates the expansion into a very integrated way back to true source. And so in that Crist spiral, we have been in it now 6 weeks. So have a look what's been happening and purging in your life in the last 6 weeks, because it's been quite a lot if you have a look at. And it's your ability then to be able to hold your center as you move through that. And as I mentioned, center, it's very important to remember that we are not just a spiritual being, we also have a physical body, and it's really important to look at that. Now, we talk about the fact that we have a 1 meter sphere, or as I call it, a biosphere around you. And that biosphere gives us some feedback. Generally, if we're listening to things that perhaps are already not on the, if you like to think, on the right channel. So, for instance, good 2 months ago, the frequency went up in my ear, and I was aware of it, and that was fine. But I realized the frequency going up was telling me actually something was happening in my biosphere, and I needed to be more aware of that. And of course, things like headaches and all that are all indications that there's some out of frequency that is affecting your biosphere, and then it would have an impact in the physical body if you don't take responsibility. So how you take responsibility for your biosphere is all the things I've talked about in the past, which is go in nature and ground every single day if possible. And if you aren't able to do that, then certainly sit down, do a meditation, listen to some beautiful solfeggio frequencies, and there's some beautiful grounding frequencies for you to listen to in the background. And the other thing is to make sure you drink heaps of very good water. We drink Kangen water over here, and anybody who comes here gets the beautiful hydrogen water. Live food, so nothing from a packet if you can help it, but as close to nature as possible, because food is your medicine. And also switch off from as much social media and news as possible from the outer world, because the outer world will impregnate your biosphere with what they want you to hang on to. And so the other thing that to do is when you're doing your grounding exercises is also to fill your biosphere with as much energy as you can. And I know some of you do yoga and some do Tai Chi or Qigong, and all of those are wonderful ways. And for Brian and I, and I know some in this community have done pranic healing, and the old, rubbing your hands together and starting to feel that energy between your hands, and then taking that energy and like a sphere and filling up your whole biosphere. So what that really is reminding you to have some daily practice. The other thing that for the people that are also into crystals, and I have an office filled with crystals, and I've always been into crystals. In fact, every time I have a New Earth Academy, I'm holding a big Terminator. And so for those that are into crystals, then certainly bring that back into your environment. Create like a Stargate for you, or a beautiful environment where you can really come back to center, which is going to be really important to move us forward, because there's lots and lots and lots of things that are unwinding and foreign events that are coming in from the outer world to try to put us off key. But this is the time where, as I mentioned about the Kali Yuga, that this has been absolutely designed for this time. And not only that, then we get the support of the heavens. So astrologically, there is much happening as well. So if it very much feels like things are a little bit chaotic, they're moving fast, things are coming at you too fast, and you're trying to keep up with it, and just remember, this is just a normal time where well, as normal as you can. This is normal for what was agreed with the ascension of humanity and the ascension of the planet at this time. So it's important for us to take full responsibility for our health and well-being, and also our biosphere. So you're going to hear me talk a lot about frequency, and if you can't raise your frequency, as I said, listen to some solfeggio frequencies, which will certainly lift you for sure. So while we have been away, Carola Saracen and I from the Thailand project have been in planning, and she's had also some guidance as well from her wonderful team. And we're going to do a lot more collaborating together, and especially for the English world. Of course, she beautifully presents to the German speakers, and we're going to be talking a lot more for the English speaking world and getting them more involved in as well. So we're going to sort of combine under the Thailand project heading. Not that we're shifting from E equals VS, but when you start to come to some of our programs in the year, you'll see that it will have TP1 and TP2, which means basically Thailand project, the information that has been presented, and the easiest way that Grubber Voice teachings has been presented, because I can tell you people that go off and start to look at Grubber Voice books and they absolutely get lost, end up either in a workshop or a webinar with me or with Carola, trying to understand and get an easier understanding of it. So our endeavour this year is to step up what we've been presenting. So not only will I have the New Earth Academy stuff happening for you, but also you'll start to see me present the second part of TP1, which I've called Soul Code in the past. So you're going to, I'll be presenting the second part of that at the end of February. And then just after Easter, I'm going to be presenting in Australia. I haven't presented in Australia, TP2. So we'll be doing that, and I'll opening it up to being online as well as a seminar, so dual at the same time. But for all those that are in very awkward time zones, just keep looking at our website, because I will be scheduling just webinars for different time zones where it's over a week or 10 days or something, so that people can get little snippets of it every day and start to get into, especially Thailand TP2, if you haven't never done that before, is a magnificent body of work. Some really advanced teachings in there, so it's really going to catapult everybody quite well. But some of you might have remembered when Corolla came out and presented TP2, I think back in 2019, it might have been when Nadezhda Koroleva wasn't able to be here. So lots to look forward this year, and which means that I'm going to be a little bit more vocal in the newsletters, and sort of I'm going to do a beautiful free webinar. I'm just scheduling that now, which is going to be open to everyone. So not just people in our community, it's going to be open to everyone. And really just how you take responsibility for your biofield, what to watch out for, a little introduction to Grabavoy. And so this is a way of getting out to more people, and feel free to absolutely share that. So that's enough from me. I will keep you updated, but for everybody, let's launch into, as we have already, into the first few weeks of 2024 with an absolutely different mindset. I've took people through finding their word for the year. And so for those of you who've found your word, let that be your guiding light. We will have a beautiful afternoon tea at some stage. Once again, I'm fitting that in around Brian's already very busy schedule, and so I will let you know of that as well for people that are in our community. Anyway, I look forward to catching up with you when we start back in the New Earth Academy on the 30th of January, on Tuesday in Australia. That will be Monday in the 29th in the USA. So all the details you'll find in our newsletter. So apart from that, everybody, welcome to for our year together in 2024. Bye for now.